Alright guys, it's time once again for another OPTC Treasure Cruise Teams Breakdown video. This time we're celebrating the worldwide anniversary in OPTC with the treasure map versus Shiryu. So for this treasure map, is there any extra with it being the worldwide anniversary? Does it go to like 20 million or something? It goes up to 15 million, so there's going to be extra points this time, or extra rewards available. So just keep an eye out for that. And any other like important like changes for this one? No, it doesn't like it. Okay, but so that's cool to know. This one will go to 15 million. So make sure you guys aren't just farming for the 10 million like normal. You're going for the 15 million. So we're gonna go ahead and break down the teams. I was lucky enough, as y'all can see here, I did get the full batch. I got Zoro, Nami, and Jinbei, or Zoro versus Venus. So we're gonna go ahead and break down the teams. We're gonna start with the Blackbeard versus Kuzan fight. So quest guide for this one, obviously recommended characters are the new ones, with it being Zoro's versus unit you want to run this one. Straight decks quick, they get all the cooldowns for this one. Stage 2 versus Burgess. He only has the delay immunity, and you're going to get 8 turns of crewmates being binded, so it'll be 5 turns with sockets, and 7 turns threshold, and top row gets special reverse by 3 turns. On battle 3, you're going to be fighting Blackbeard and Kuzan. They also only have delay immunity. They're weak to free spirit class. All your slots are changed to paralysis slots. And unless you have, like, I think Wano or Rainbow, you won't have to worry about paralysis slots. So just keep that in mind if you didn't get these new units. Maybe if you use, like, Luffy, Bonnie, and Kuma, you could have, like, the Rainbow slots, so that'll help you prevent it there. So just keep that in mind if you didn't get, like, the new units, stuff like that. But you're going to have the 6 turns of Rainbow Shield, 6 turns attack down, 6 turns defense up, and crewmate special reverse for 2 turns. So, and there's a death hit. So for this one, who we're running with is, we're going with double versus Zoro, friend captains, or captain and friend captain. Ship can be whatever you want to run. And for stage 2, all you're going to do is go ahead and activate Zoro. Let me go ahead and like pull up over here. So stage 2, you're going to want to use Zoro. So remember, the enemy gets threshold. They're going to put bind, and they're going to do special reverse. For those of y'all don't know Zoro's abilities, if you meet the requirements of having 3 or more Straw Hats, Worst Gen, or Giant characters, special reverse. He removes 10 turns of special reverse. So since we have Zoro, we actually have 2 Zoros, the Nami and the Jinbei. We have 4 Straw Hats, so we don't have to worry about the special reverse aspect of it. And then by launching his special, you see he removes 7 turns of Threshold and 7 turns of Paralysis and Bind. We get 30% dex resistance, so just 30% more damage to the enemy. If you have an attack boost, you get set target status. Otherwise, we'll give you a Dex, Free Spirit, and Slasher, 3.25 attack buff. And if you have 3 or more of those same tags, and the crew has the end of turn healing, which we wouldn't have that, he multiplies the attack buff. That's what he does there. Okay. So we also get access to Zoro's Versus effect. So uses on stage 2, uses Versus effect and then his special. I don't think the order really matters, but that's just the way I'm going to do it. That's how I normally use them. So we'll get a Dex territory applied to the field, and crew's attack up. Oh, well, that's what the territory does for 2 turns. And then we'll get non-type tap timing damage at the end of the turn for 5 turns. And all of our slots will be changed to matching slots, and we get a HP guard of 60%. So that's what Zoro does. You want to just go ahead and use him on this stage, and you're pretty much good to go. I put Chopper on here just for some more damage because he's going to make our Dex characters have more type affinity. I'm going to assume the mini boss is also going to be quick. If not, then I'll just change this chopper to somebody else that can give us more damage. Alternatively, Reiju and Shiryu aren't like needed. They're just here for like point boosters. So you could use Reiju or Shiryu on stage 2 if you need more damage. What does Reiju give? Type affinity for quick characters. And set target status for quick cerebral fighter. So yeah, you could like use her for like the because Jinbei and Nami are cerebral, so like you get like the extra on them. I believe Shiryu also does set target status. Captain is that applies set target status. Shiryu also HP cuts you, so you might not want to use him because of the death hit, so just keep that in mind. But again, he's just they're just there for points. So so chopper support's not needed. It's just there to give that color affinity for our Dex characters, assuming he's quick. If not, no biggie, we can change it to something else. But either way, once we go on to the final stage, that's then where we can go ahead and use our remaining specials, not counting like Shiryu and Reiju. But we're going to use Jinbei first, then Nami, and then Zoro. So Jinbei, or Zoro, his captain ability is going to go ahead and remove that special reverse from the enemy. And then by using Jinbei, his special is going to go ahead and reduce the Rainbow Shield by 6 turns. He'll also give us a Rainbow Shield of 80% for 2 turns. And he'll give us an attack buff that can be overwritten. And he'll reduce Versus gauge and Switch gauge by 3. If your captain is Dex or Quick, which will be Dex here, we also get a slot effect buff from Jinbei. Then when you activate Nami, Nami will go ahead and remove the 6 turns of attack down. She'll set the enemy's defense to 0. And again, Blackbeard and Kuzan were only they only had immunity to delay, so their defense will go to 0. And then we can boost, let's see here, she gets class advantageous buff of 1.5 for free spirit and cerebral. And if your captain is Dex, gives us a base attack buff, so we'll get that added on there. And then by using Zoro after the 2 of them, remember, use his Versus effect and his special. The Versus effect is going to give us the HP guard, so we'll have the Rainbow Shield from Jinbei and the HP guard from Zoro to help reduce defense. In addition to the territory we have on there, which also gives us some increased defense. And Zoro will go ahead and he'll overwrite that attack buff from Jinbei, give us a 3.25. And since we already have that attack buff, we'll go ahead and apply set target status and resistance down. So no worries on like clearing that stage, should be super easy. I just want to check one thing real quick with my supports that we could possibly add to it for more damage. Again, I don't think we're gonna like specifically need more damage, but you could, on Nami here, if you want more damage, apply this Usopp support, and it'll give you a conditional buff for 1.2 or 1.5 against enemies inflicted by it with defense down. So I'm probably just going to throw that on there, just why not, just for the free damage. So again, the Usopp support and the Chopper support, they're not needed though. They're just for extra damage. You could replace the Chopper one with, remember Zoro gives an attack buff, so you would probably want to use like an orb buff, but the only one that I see is for like Kawina, so it only buffs Zoro's attack, or Zoro's orb buff. You could also do like any chain buff one that you'd want to add on Zoro. But either way, those 2 supports aren't specifically needed, so you have some freedom there. Again, Reiju or Shiryu could be used on stage 2 For some extra damage, if you feel the need, then you could throw specific supports on them to try and give you extra damage. Either way, I don't think it's going to be too much of like a worry. So now going on to the fight versus Shiryu. So for this fight, Venus, Garp Kobe, and Blackbeard Kuzan are recommended. Strength Dex Int get all the cooldowns. On Battle 2 against Vasco's Shot, he has defense down immunity only. 7 turns of right column special bind, 7 turns of threshold, left column 1 turn of special reverse, and then left column gets their specials locked for until 2 goods are hit. So you won't get any more cooldown back. So he'll rewind it 1 turn, you can't get the cooldown back until you hit 2 goods. For Shiryu, first half of his life bar is going to be Dex, the second half is going to be Quick. Shiryu has full immunity, his weakness class is Slasher. Did Vasco Shot have weakness class? He didn't, okay. His weakness class is Slasher. Percent damage, so he's going to cut 70% of your HP, and then he's going to go ahead and change all your slots to block slots. You're going to get hit with 11 turns of paralysis, 14 turns of despair, and then 10 turns of special bind to your crewmates. So for this one, we're actually running a hybrid captain setup of versus Zoro and versus Nushiro. And the reason we're doing that, but you want Zoro as the captain, and that's so you can have like that specific support. The Lafayette and Sanji support are needed for this team, the way that I have this set up. So with that in mind, let me flip over here to my special orders. So on stage 2, you're going to want to use Zoro's versus ability and his special. So Zoro's ability, like we talked about before, his versus ability is going to go ahead and give us a full board of slots. We get the HP guard, which we don't really need here, but we'll get the territory just for some extra damage on this stage. And but the main reason why we're using Zoro on this stage is to remove the threshold, and he'll give us the attack buff as well, so we'll be able to just go ahead and like easily clear this stage. So since Zoro removes the threshold, the special reverse is taken care of in Zoro's captain ability, so we don't have to worry about that. In Venus's captain ability, we don't have to worry about the special bind, because if you look here, if you have 4 more Egghead, World Government, or 5 Elder characters on this crew, captain ability effects will target the entire crew instead, reduces crew's special bind duration by 10 turns. So we're not going to have to worry about special bind on either stage, thanks to Venus. Because I believe everybody is actually Egghead Arc in this one. I think even the Shiryu is. Yeah, so everybody's Egghead Arc anyway, so we're not going to have to like... We definitely met his requirements for that. So then going into the following stage... Again, Special Bind is going to be removed by Venus's captain ability. And bear with me 1 second here, just to get my order of specials right. So you're going to use Venus's versus special and then his regular special. So his versus effect is going to change all your block slots to matching, just like Zoro does, which is the most important thing here. You're going to get Territory Cerebral. And you're going to get Strength Down resistance, and you're going to get the Overheal buff added, and you get the same HP guard also. Now the Overheal is important because then that's going to trigger Saturn's EX special. So after using his versus effect, you're going to go ahead and use his special. His special will remove 7 turns of despair, and I know like y'all are thinking like, but there's like 14 turns of it. That immediately makes you think like you should run double Venus, but if you run 1, that'll take off 7 turns. You get 3 turns from sockets. Now you're up to 10. The Sanji support removes 2 when you're inflicted with it, and the Lafayette support removes 2 turns when you're inflicted with it. And the Sanji one also removes 2 turns of paralysis, which will be important because Saturn removes 10 turns of paralysis, and there's 11. So I don't know if that 11's counting before or after the preemptive. But either way, with Sanji and Saturn, it'll definitely make sure you clear the paralysis, but we'll get to that in a second. So, go ahead and use Venus first, that way you can get the Despair removal. If you have class advantageous, you get weakened status. Let me just like glance over this real quick. If you have class advantageous, you get weakened status because his special's weird. It's not as like clear cut as Zoro's is. Otherwise, then you get class advantageous effect. Boost type effects of strength cerebral slasher characters for 1 turn. If 4 more egghead characters are on there, and enemy does not have increased damage taken, buffs that color affinity. If the enemy has increased damage taken, reduces all enemies' increased damage taken by 5. Let me just check this real quick. If you have class advantageous, he applies weakened. Otherwise, he gives class advantageous and type affinity. Okay. Yeah, because there's like a weird order of operations to like you need to do this. Because here's the confusing part of his is if you have 4 more of the tags, which we do, characters on crew and enemy, or characters on the crew, the enemy has increased damage taken, reduces the increased damage taken by 5, but then buffs your other ones. I think I'd rather have the like. I don't think I want the increased damage taken removed. Let me go back to Saturn real quick. Because his class advantageous effect is applied, yeah, by his EX. So you want to do, this is the order you want to do. You want to do Venus's versus Saturn's EX, Venus's special, Saturn's special. So that way you can get, you'll have class advantageous, you'll have weakened, you'll have increased damage taken. That way you can get like all those buffs going. So again, Venus versus Saturn EX, Venus, then Saturn for their specials. So after doing that, when you use Saturn's special, it's going to go ahead and remove the paralysis. And it's going to apply another territory, this time strength type territory to the field. He's going to go ahead and give you chain boundary. And we do have the requirements for the Egghead arc, so that's where we'll get the increased damage taken applied to the enemy. So then following applying Saturn's, you can go ahead and then apply Shiryu. Now remember, we already got our HP cut. So with Shiryu, and this will change a little bit when he's super evolved, the numbers will just become better. So after that reduces, because we don't have the Blackbeard character, so we can just ignore that. Cuts crew's HP, reduces crew's switch effect by 3. If your captain is Dex, which he is, this is also why I wanted to go with Zoro, he'll apply set target status to the enemy. So we can go ahead and get that set target status added to the enemy there. Again, just even more free damage. And then you'll go ahead and use Jinbei and Nami. So with Jinbei and Nami, they're just here just to add on like buffs. Because all the like enemy effects have already been removed and stuff now, thanks to like Saturn and Venus. So Jinbei is here again to give us the attack boost, which is overrideable. But we actually don't have any other attack boosts on this one, so that's fine. We'll go ahead, we'll take it. And we'll get the, since Zoro is Dex type, he's the captain, we'll go ahead and get a slot buff. And with Nami, actually, let me go back to that slot buff real quick. Jinbei's slot buff is for 3 turns. So technically you could use Jinbei on the 2nd turn if damage is a little tight. You could use Jinbei and then Zoro. So that way you would also get the set target status on the enemy on the 2nd fight. So just remember that like Jinbei can be used there, but if needed, if damage is tight there. Otherwise he'll be here just to give the attack buff here. And then Nami's going to go ahead and give us the... yeah, she gives class advantageous buff, but we would already have a better class advantageous buff from Saturn, I believe. So she's just here just to give the 3 turns of base attack boost. So you could probably use Nami on like stage 2 if you wanted, just for extra damage with Zoro. Because her buff does last 3 turns, so it's up to you in that regard. Jinbei and Nami can be used on stage 2. If you do that, use them before Zoro. Since their buffs last for 3 turns. But use saving Jinbei for stage 3, you would get an attack buff. Not that you couldn't just like probably throw an attack buff support on like any of these characters. But that being said, I'm just gonna do a quick like check real quick. Don't think, does his special change any orbs? No, it doesn't. Okay, because I was about to say, like, none of their specials change orbs. Because I was about to say, like, Legend Reiju support might work, but for an attack buff that's as good as Jinbei's. But either way, like, it's no biggie. Like, nothing to like really like worry about there. Like, again, I'm not too worried about the damage. If you need the extra damage on stage 2, you could easily like use Nami or Jinbei there and carry your orb buff in. But you're stacking so many buffs that like losing that 1.75 attack buff on stage 3 for all like the other shit you have, like I don't think it's gonna make a difference. So hopefully like these teams help you out. Yeah, they use like the boosted units, but this was the worldwide Annie. It's just like with like New Year's and like regular anniversary, I think a lot of people are going to pull for these characters. If you've seen what Zoro and Noshijiro do, I would highly recommend pulling for them. They are a very, very, very strong character, and being a versus character, they carry a lot of weight. They're usable on you're getting 2 legends for the price of 1. And I agree with people in the community. It definitely feels like a super Sugo Fest level character. So hopefully that helps you guys. If y'all have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to like help you out with like any kind of suggestions. If you're missing like one character or something like that, no big deal. Otherwise, if you're missing one character, I can easily help you like figure out like something that we can that could work in that scenario. If you're missing all 3 of like the new units, I would definitely recommend checking out like Stump or somebody else's like videos in regards to like using any of like the non-new characters, because just with like the stuff I have going on in my personal life, like I tried getting this video out earlier today, but it has not been a good day for me at all. I don't have like the time and energy right now to be able to say, hey, by the way, here's a team without none of the new units. So I do apologize for that. I hope y'all understand. I greatly appreciate all y'all's like support over like all the streams and in the videos and stuff like that. Literally, like y'all may not realize this, and it's just important to say like right here at the end of the video, the littlest things to you may mean so much to someone else. So I really, really, really appreciate all you guys' support, stopping by like the Twitch streams or checking out the videos. So thank you so much for like all the kindness like y'all have showed me. I've really, really appreciated these past like couple months when I needed the most. So thank you so much, everybody. With that being said, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Good luck on your pulls if you try and pull Zoro versus Noshijiro. And if you're saving your gems, hey, I don't blame you. If you pulled for the prior worldwide global anniversary characters, should have still. I don't think you should have any problem like crafting your teams and stuff like that, like in a hybrid scenario and stuff like that. So, but again, like if y'all have any questions regarding like replacing, like swapping out one of these characters, anything like that, just feel free to let me know, and I'll gladly like do what I can to help y'all, like I always do. Otherwise, hope y'all have a great rest of your day. And I will see y'all Wednesday for the treasure map stream, definitely. And hopefully, maybe I'll pop in for the Monster Hunter Rise or SAO Alicization streams later in the week. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks again.